All right, we are back on the Andre Duke Show with Carter Smith. I got Richie joining me tonight. Rich, how we doing, man?
Hey, we're doing great, man. We got some football on tonight. At least I can watch some football thanks to Disney uh with their YouTube deal. So gonna watch some Denver Broncos and Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully, everybody out there is doing well, but I guess we can talk a little bit about that whole YouTube TV debacle. It is not. I just, I for the life of me, I just look at that and I think to myself, why can't we get this done?
You got that right, Duke. Why can't
Um,
we get it done? What's the problem here? Why can't we just come to an agreement in the middle? It's right smack dab right in the middle of football season. It's like
right.
both sides pull this shit. It's like, come on, you're pissing off a lot of your customers.
Oh, and I don't necessarily know what the ESPN, the Disney, um, what their mindset is on this. To me, it just screams incompetence. Although McAfee was getting ready to say some names today, which I was hoping he was going to.
Yeah. Why am I frozen? There we go. Yeah, he was, and he's like nobody wants to go to your website. Nobody wants to click a link. Just get it done.
That and I just think it is not conducive for the because see, here's my thing. Not that I'm going to get on a soapbox about this, and then we'll talk a little bit about this, and then we'll just fried, died, and lay to the side. But here's my beef. Every time we have some type of dispute, whether it's with the NFL or it's the what's up, Joe? The anytime it has to do with the cable networks, the people that lose are the fans.
Yes, you're putting a hindrance on the people who are paying your salaries, who tune in to watch every week, and they can't watch their favorite teams. It's
Right.
ridiculous. It's
And like
ridiculous.
and I don't even want to dive into the Fox realm. We'll leave Fox alone on this one. At least they are on YouTube TV. That was the whole point of cutting the cord to get rid of
Yeah,
this stuff.
precisely. I mean, ever since I got married, we never had cable. We've always streamed stuff. We streamed PlayStation View. PlayStation View was great. Then we went to YouTube. Then they didn't have something, and we went to Fubo, and then we went back to YouTube TV. So it's getting ridiculous with these streaming services.
Well, not only the streaming service stuff, and to me, I think the bigger issue is we have we have things that if you would just leave it alone, it would
If it
be
ain't broke,
fine.
don't fix it.
Right. And my thing is that when it comes to this stuff, it doesn't amount to the what are you trying to prove is my thing.
I got an idea what you're trying to prove, but I can't say it.
But it's to the point to where it just turns into stupidity at this point.
Oh, totally. I concur.
Oh, thanks, Joe. Yeah, I did get a haircut today.
Hey, Joe, you didn't compliment me on my haircut. I just got one yesterday. What the hell?
Richie's got a little FOMO, but I just look at this and I think like why can we not get this done? Like
Yeah,
and
it's frustrating. I mean, and Disney's there. I saw a stat they're losing 5 million a day,
oh yeah.
and you get the app, you can't even watch Monday Night Football.
Hmm.
So that's like, what's the point? I'm not paying $40 so where I can't watch Monday Night Football.
Exactly. And ABC, I mean, like if you go out and buy the bunny ears, you can pretty much get most of the big games.
Yeah,
So, and I think that's why ABC did what they did by putting the big game on ABC, not ESPN, for this reason.
Right.
In case there is a dispute, you can go out and buy a $25 antenna and it'll all be good.
But JJ Watts made a good point too on when he was on McAfee, was either yesterday or today. Like, I don't even know how to even do that with a smart TV.
What a antenna?
The bunny ears.
You just buy one that plugs into your HDMI and you flip it over to, it has a setting on your TV, it'll recognize it, and you just click through the channels.
Oh, there you have it.
That is that. But so I guess we can get into it. We could talk a little college football playoff. And can we get away from talking about the auto bids?
Yes. That'd be great.
Because here's the brass tacks on this. And I'm going to lay it out. I know the Big Ten people are going to freak out about this. Greg Sankey doesn't work for Tony Petitti. He doesn't. He does not. He's not going to agree to a model that's going to hinder his teams getting a bump and getting more teams from his conference in the playoff. Period. Not happening. It's a non-starter. It's persona non grata. Ain't happening. Not even close. And, the Big Ten people can get pissed about this, but I'm just going to lay it out there. Outside of Ohio State, now that Penn State is relatively in the toilet, outside of Ohio State, how is the Big Ten better football? What's the measuring stick? Bowl games?
I don't know.
Exactly. There is no measuring stick. So this is where I disagree with people, because I'm tired of hearing, well, the SEC's better, the Big Ten's better. No. Stop it. You're comparing bowl games. You're using you're comparing apples to oranges, because a lot of the kids opt out. You don't have full teams. And I feel like, how many games does Florida win in the Big Ten?
Let's say 10.
That's a little on the high end, but I would say at least 8 every year.
Yeah, 8, 9. 8, 9 sounds more logical.
But here's the thing. I don't want to do the whole what we're comparing it to. I don't want to start a giant argument about it, but the Big Ten people that think that Notre Dame is going to be in lockstep with them, it's, as you can see, they scheduled another SEC team home and home. That goes to show you what it is. So,
personally, I think with the automatic bid, get away from the automatic bids. You rank them at the end of the year. You put them in 1 through 12.
Why did we want to get away from a model that that gets away from Wisconsin? Oh yeah, they're bringing Fickle back. Whatever. I just happened to read that. You're 2-6. He's 15-19 overall.
Hey, let me go ahead real quick. I gotta get this.
All right, I'll take you out. But yeah, the Wisconsin stuff, that's interesting to say the least. Luke Fickell is relatively, he's 15-19 overall. They're 2-6 this year. I don't think that it's going to make a difference whether he's there or not there or what we got going on. I just look at it and I think that like, what are we doing? is my thing. I don't think it's conducive for the long-term success for Wisconsin, but whatever, what do I know, to say the least. But also tonight we have USF just scored again. They are beating the brakes off um, okay, that'll work. But South Florida right now, they're up gonna be 21-3 on UTSA. Getting everybody ready for the weekend. The I have to look and see what we got as far as game wise coming up this weekend. We got some stuff going on, but you know, nothing that we can't handle here. Friday night has a pretty decent slate of games. We have Houston, UCF kicking off on Friday night. Northwestern USC. I think that'll be a snooze fest. Tulane, Memphis. I think that's what's going to really separate the American for the most part. That's what's going to separate that race. Penn State, Indiana, I think is a total snoozer. It's very bizarre to say the least. I don't think that. I mean, a lot of people going into the game thought it was, or going into this year thought it was going to be a good game. Penn State obviously firing James Franklin. That's just kind of what it is. I think it's a snoozer. We got Georgia at Mississippi State. That's 9.5 points there. I might buy some Mississippi State Bulldogs on that one. Also, USF fans have totally showed up dressed as empty seats tonight. A lot of gaps there in the crowd. The big one at noon on ABC, which I'm really shocked that ABC picked it up. It's BYU Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech and BYU are two underrated universities. They have tons of cash flow. I believe the guy's name's Cody Campbell. If you've seen him with the Score Act commercials out there, he's campaigning to try to save college sports. We'll see what he can get done on the congressional level. I think the president and some other special advisors are going to be in on that deal. So there's that. Also in the noon slate, SMU Boston College. I think SMU absolutely curb stomps BC. Bill O'Brien's completely trying to tear that program down to its foundation and rebuild it. So you got that, and then also you have Colorado. After giving up like 105 points in 2 halves of football, not been the greatest for the Buffaloes and Deion Sanders. And apparently he made a switch at offensive coordinator. Matt McChesney and Bailey Price over there on 0 to 60 talked about that at length today. They get more in depth into the Colorado stuff, their premiere show for that. But I just think the whole Colorado stuff is fascinating. I'm not really trying to do the whole dumping on Deion Sanders, but it kind of is what it is at this point. The last 2 games speak for themselves, and that's what happens when you proverbially bring in all kinds of guys that have no ties to where you're at, in my opinion. But some people would disagree, but it is what it is. More interesting things. Purdue or Ohio State travels to Purdue. See if Barry Odom can try to keep it respectable. And that one, Purdue is 30.5-point dogs. So there's that. The Citadel travels to Ole Miss. I don't think that's That is what it is. As I'm scrolling through, Texas A&M at 3:30 is taking on Missouri. I think that's going to be an interesting matchup. Can Texas A&M shut Missouri down their run game? Texas A&M has kind of at times been a little leaky in and on defense. Joe says I'm taping 9 games. That is a lot of games. A lot of games. Another fascinating matchup in the 3:30 window is I think Oregon 3 early, 3 mid late. Yeah. Yeah, there's some good games out there this weekend. Oregon, Iowa, I think is going to be a fascinating matchup as well. I don't know where the Buck's going to stop on that one. CBS got that one. They have that coverage. Maybe CBS can finally crack the number 1 spot for TV ratings, but I doubt it. So there's that. The Auburn travels to Vanderbilt. The Hugh Freezeless Auburn Tigers is what it is. So, right, at least top 4. Yeah, I mean, CBS has been taking it bad in the TV ratings battle. Notre Dame plays Navy at 7:30 at Notre Dame Stadium. So there's that. The Kentucky Florida play on SEC Network. That'll be a compelling matchup because Billy Gonzalez needs to win one, I think, to keep it manageable. But also, if Stoops wins that one, he probably saves his job, in all honesty. But UCLA, Nebraska travels out to UCLA, 9 p.m. kick on the East Coast. And then we have Alabama taking on LSU. Alabama 9.5 point favorites. Alabama at home, even when LSU was at full strength last year, they still struggled to even play with Alabama. Now that Brian Kelly's gone, I don't know what type of reaction the Tigers are going to get out of their unit. I think for the most part, LSU could ultimately fold. Hopefully, we have a good game. That's kind of what I'm rooting for. I'm just rooting for good games. The last 2 weeks slates have been so. So there's that. And then also Wisconsin comes out and says Luke Fickell will be back in 2026. I'm sure that is to the chagrin of the fans. I know the folks in Buckeye country are probably not going to like that I'm saying this, but the Fickell thing, for all intents and purposes, hasn't worked at large. I just think that, you know, with them, I think Wisconsin was really slow to act on the NIL stuff. That's a big part of it. The programs that got behind on the NIL stuff, it didn't bode well for them, to be honest. That's just kind of what it is. It didn't work out. It didn't pan out. So I think that going forward, I don't know. I really don't know what they plan on doing or what they're going to do as far as that stuff being said, but I just don't know. I just feel like it's fallen on deaf ears for some of the programs out there. I don't think that they'll be able to recover because I don't know if you're going to be able to completely revamp your NIL, um, stuff or your whole collective at that point. I just don't see it. So that's kind of where I'm at on the whole deal. I just don't know what they're going to do. Um, I think that for all intents and purposes, you can't really get it to where you need to. I think in a year and a half, or not even a half a year, in 8 months, I don't know if you can completely go out there and revamp the um, whole collective, or what shape the collective's in. I would assume, because they're getting all this Big Ten money, especially from Fox, they would be able to resuscitate a response in all likelihood. All right, Rich is back. What up, Rich?
What up? I'm back. Sorry.
Oh,
I had some business to take care of.
You're all good, man. Where are you at on Luke Fickell and everything that's been the goings on with him?
He doesn't have enough resources. And you would think Wisconsin, being, having tremendous success in the past, you'd have some big donors like JJ Watt, TJ Watt,
Right.
maybe riding the ship here at Madison.
And I get it. Not everybody's made of money, but I'm just saying,
No.
you would think you're getting that Big Ten money. But see, this is the issue that I have talked about in some of these conferences. There's freeloaders.
Yes. Yeah. Rutgers, Purdue.
But here's my thing. In the Big Ten right now, you have 4 or 5 teams that don't have a conference win. You're not being competitive. Oh man, there goes that quarterback out the gate, 88.
Who? Byron Brown?
Yep.
Go Bulls, baby. They're making the playoffs.
Wait, Rich, you'd be able to watch it if you had ESPN.
Oh, wait, that's right. Sons of bitches.
Colorado has announced they're starting Julian Lewis. I don't think it's going to matter.
You think Prime goes after this year?
I think Prime will be at Colorado as long as he wants to be. Now, I think next year, if it looks like this, I don't know how deep Colorado's pockets are.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be shocked if they made a move if it looks like this next year. And I hate doing that, but at the end of the day, I mean, Dion ain't leaving without the money.
No.
But on this show, we have predicted fates. We're normally a year early.
Normally.
Billy Napier, Hugh Freeze, Brian Kelly.
What's the deal going down in Baton Rouge? Is there a name floating around there, Duke?
Well, they keep on saying that there's the Saban element, and I don't know if LSU could pay him enough. But if you realistically, I was thinking about this morning. If you're Saban, why come out of retirement?
Yeah. I mean, I see him being not the next Corso, but the next level of insight on game day. What say you, Duke?
Um, I think that there's one job that'll get him out of retirement, and it's Texas.
True.
And I think that, let's say, because this is just me spitballing ideas here. This is not sourced. I have not talked to anybody about it. I think Sark is going to leave.
I think he is too. I think he's going to try his luck up in Tennessee with the Titans.
I think if someone will hire him,
or some NFL job that'll open up in this coaching cycle in the come Black Monday.
So because when they lose, inevitably they're going to lose a third game.
Yes,
because they have Georgia, they have A&M left. They're losing one of them.
but yeah, I don't foresee them coming out of that buzzsaw.
So, with that being said, I would find it fascinating on where Sark would end up. Because I know this much. I think it's Texas fatigue. I think they're tired of him and he's tired of them.
It's getting to the point like where you're not seeing the longevity in college football now.
No.
It's starting to be reminiscent of a coaching cycle in the NFL, Duke.
And I hate to be this guy, but even I think the coaching cycles in the NFL are way too short.
Oh yeah, 2 years. You can't do nothing in 2 years.
I mean, here, okay. Does Aaron Glenn survive the Jets?
I don't think he does. I mean, it's a fire. It was a fire sale this week.
Unless they're going into it saying, and it's kind of like, here's the measuring stick. And for better or for worse, I know people are really going to hate me for saying this, but what Cignetti did at Indiana, not everybody can do that.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I agree with you.
I think that when it comes to the Cignetti stuff, your expectations aren't realistic.
No, Cignetti is like a phenom for doing what he's done at Indiana in 2 years.
And I
don't think we're ever going to see that for a long time.
And here's the thing with Indiana football. The Indiana football fans need to say this is as good as it's going to get.
Yep.
But I don't know, maybe that Indiana makes all this money on football and sees the investment and they invest in it and say, we're not going to be a second-rate team in the Big Ten anymore, and they go after greatness.
Right. And you're going to see more talent coming in. Kids are going to go play for Cignetti. Well, why would I go to Ohio State? Maybe I take my shot with Cignetti. Look what he. Yeah, you get on the field in Indiana.
Right. That's just kind of where I'm at on it.
And being an Ohio State fan, Indiana's always played Ohio State tough in the last 10 years.
Okay, so
and them being right at number 2 this year, trust me, they have my attention. They had my attention last year, Duke.
So, okay, I'll phrase it this way. Does the Ohio State recruiting machine stop when Hartline leaves?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't think so. No, not with winning. If they, by some miracle, go back-to-back this year, they're still going to be getting top-end recruits.
Because you would agree that Hartline's probably gone, right?
I don't know. I I'd say maybe give him another year.
If Arkansas calls Florida,
Arkansas's already called for.
I don't think that's a done deal yet.
You don't think? No.
I don't think so because SMU has deep pockets. I think the Big 12 has 3 really underrated jobs. I think SMU, BYU, and Texas Tech now. But the thing of it is BYU has a ton of money and people don't realize it.
True. The Stormin' Mormons.
So you have that. I'm assuming Dan Mullen is going to end up somewhere. I mean, Urban's out there campaigning more.
Do you think? Yeah, I mean, do you think Urban campaigning for him for Penn State? You think that makes the most sense?
Dan Mullen at Penn State is a problem. It is. I mean, people can make all they want out of it. Dan Mullen at Penn State is a problem because if they bring Mullen in, Mullen won at Mississippi State. I don't think people realize how hard that is.
I mean, that's if Mississippi State was in Big Ten, they'd be the third best team.
I don't know about that, but
I think so.
I think they would beat a lot of teams in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
I think Mississippi State would be behind Oregon, Ohio State. But I think they could give Illinois a run for their money. But we'll see. Hartline's going to end up somewhere. I mean, he was a finalist for the West Virginia job, but I think that was a backroom deal already done. I think they interviewed him as a formality.
Right.
Just to say they did it. Also, I did see some advertisements for a sitcom. I believe it's on ABC called BMV. Are you
It's the DMV
or the DMV?
I have been watching it. It's pretty spot on, dude.
I didn't know if you were going to partake in that madness.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, it's. I watched the first episode. I gotta catch up. I've been watching Tulsa King and the Mayor the last couple weeks.
Not like you can watch
Monday Night Football.
So you got to find something to watch.
I gotta find something to watch. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna be that guy. I know people are going to probably say I don't know what I'm talking about, but if Cristobal drops another one, is Miami making a move?
Yeah.
You think so?
Who they lose? What was the one game that they lost to? Was it Louisville? Because they just lose like 2 in a row.
Yeah. Ooh, that is another touchdown for USF. They are
Go
kicking.
Bulls, baby.
Do you got your phone on you?
No, I don't. Yeah, I do.
I just sent you something on Twitter. Don't mention the name out loud, but it's just funny. Just look at the picture. You're going to be like, "Ooh, boy."
Jesus Christ.
That's funny, ain't it?
That's ridiculous. What a fall from grace.
Ooh.
Brutal.
Are you outraged that Miami is ranked below Notre Dame in the college football playoff?
Yeah, I gotta look at the rankings too. Yeah. Because they lost in overtime to an unranked SMU team. Like, how does that make sense?
That's kind of what I've been thinking.
I mean, these rankings are just ridiculous.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Somebody just sent me a thing about a current incarcerated folk.
Oh boy.
His name is Mr. Combs, if you're wondering. It was kind of funny. But yeah, so Miami ranked below Notre Dame. It's all of it's just going to be recency biased. I hate to be that guy, but that's what it's going to be. It's going to be the last worst thing you showed us.
Yep.
And I don't know where. I think the playoff picture is going to get real clear in the next 2 weeks. I would say BYU Texas Tech is essentially an elimination game. I don't know where you stand on that.
Texas Tech. I mean, I thought they were going to be the surprise sneaky team in the Big 12 this year, Duke, with all the money that they brought, all the kids they brought in.
And I seen a lot of people freaking out because BYU was ranked where they were ranked, and I'm like, okay, let's be real here. They're undefeated. I mean, they're undefeated.
Is that game on ESPN?
It's on ABC.
Ah, shit.
So ABC Disney is not working out for you, my friend.
No.
Because I know why the committee did what they did with BYU Texas Tech, because they turned that into an elimination game. And they throw. Here's the thing: if Louisville keeps winning, they're going to start leapfrogging people because they're 7-1.
Yeah, and they beat Miami unranked at Miami.
So when they were top 3, so there's that. Georgia Texas will be an elimination game because I feel like if Texas loses to Georgia, it's gonna put Texas so far down they're not gonna be able to get back.
Yeah, it's gonna take a miracle, like pure and utter chaos, for them to get in.
So I think that's what they want to do with that. The best thing
I just saw that LSU Alabama game. Tickets were low as $57 at Bryant Denny.
Yep. LSU stinks, man.
Like, what the hell? Like, that game, every year, that game was always.
It's always a big game when both teams have a relatively good shot of making the playoffs, and that's kind of what it is. I don't know. I hate to be the guy, but I don't understand what people don't get about this. If they're not any good, they'll be better without BK. That's probably right, Joe. But I feel like they're going to be running into a bandsaw that is Alabama right now.
To me, I feel like the roster, you're going to see a major roster turnover in Baton Rouge come next year.
Oh, yeah. Depending on who they hire. But here's the thing with that. I think that LSU is one of the very few programs out there that no matter who the coach is, it doesn't matter. In my opinion, I don't think it matters. I think they want to go. No. The Louisiana kids want to go to LSU because it's LSU, not because of Brian Kelly.
Right.
So I think that at some point, I think the bottom falls out of this deal. LSU's got to completely tear it down and rebuild it.
And And
And
I
I
mean, these buyouts and these coach firings, they're putting programs back 2-3 years while everybody's leapfrogging them.
right.
I
If you
mean,
would
Penn State, like, what were you going to say? Go ahead. Sorry, Duke.
uh Indiana has more playoff appearances than Florida.
That's a fact.
I hate
That's
to be
the
that
truth.
guy.
You're speaking on truth, Duke.
And you mean to tell me Arizona State figured it out before Florida did?
That, SMU.
Yep. Look at the teams making the playoffs. They have solid financial investment in a stable program. So I hate to be that guy, but for all intents and purposes, either BYU or Texas Tech is going to get into the playoffs, and they are leaps and bounds ahead of Florida. The McCowan kid, I feel sorry for him. He got sacked on 3 plays in a row. 3 sacks in a row.
For who?
UTSA, Owen McCowan.
Oh, McCown's kid.
Yeah, he ain't got no time.
Oof. Hey, their Golish is he's putting the foot on the pedal. He is trying to stay the case. I don't want to be in the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Memphis.
Yeah.
How are they freaking in the college football rankings? And they're not even ranked.
Because they're trying to here's what they're trying to do. They don't want a Mountain West team in there again because clearly they don't belong. They think the American is stronger than the Mountain West, so they're going to prop up the 3 teams in the American above the Mountain West. That's just fact. UCF, Tulane, Memphis. So I'm sure at some point in time, the people at Tulane are probably regretting leaving the SEC. But 1939 SEC champs, Tulane Green Wave. It's a fact.
Mercedes Lewis called for holding.
Doesn't that make you feel old looking at McCowan's kid play?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, not sure what the plan's going to be for Friday yet, but also Brett Key said, "Slice me open and see what colors I bleed." You think he's leaving?
Yeah.
I think it'll be fascinating if Arkansas hires James Franklin.
I thought Vautech was going to. Then I think I sent you something the other day that they were in talks with Vautech was trying to get him, or is that just a parody account?
There's a lot of speculation on that. So yeah, there's that. In got you, Rich. I got you. Well, tomorrow will just be a call-in show, but it is 9:00 on the East Coast time. Let me know about Saturday if you want to hop on Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm just doing the late game, so there is that. But appreciate everybody watching. And if you can do us the biggest favor, hit the like and subscribe button. And we're going to get everybody out of here. Everybody have a good evening.
Have a great evening, for everybody. Friday Eve is now, and Friday tomorrow.